Hello, my fantastic fourth graders. It's been a while. This is Eureka Math, Grade 4, Module 3, Lesson 23 with Mrs. Fuska. Okay, so we have a few new learning targets. Our first learning target is I can name, oops, there's a word left out. I can name all the factor pairs for a whole number between 1 and 100. That's what happens when you type too fast. And I can determine whether a whole number is prime or composite based on how many factors the number has. So let's jump right into it today. Okay, it's important to remember what a factor is. We talked about this. You've had a lot of online learning about this. So ninja factors, factor ninjas. A factor ninja chops up the product, the answer. So factors are numbers that are multiplied together to get a product. So like the number 12, the factors are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Those are the factors. It's finite, it's limited. And remember what a multiple is? Remember, a multiple can go on to infinity. Our multiple monsters can grow large, and never stop growing until they've encompassed the whole world or something like that. Okay, today we're going to use division to find factors of larger numbers. Today's lesson might be a little bit difficult, so if you're having trouble, I just want you to try your best, and then don't worry. We're going to spend a few days working on this and really looking at how do we find factors for larger numbers. So don't freak out. Just follow along carefully and see what you can get done tonight. Okay, here we're going to find the unknown factor. 28 is equal to 7 times what number? So I know the answer is 4 because I know my 4 times tables. Okay, but I could also know that 28 divided by 7 is equal to 4. That's how we use division to find an unknown factor. So the factors of 28 would also be 7 and 4. Now let's look at this next question. Is 10 a factor of 28? How do you know? Yes or no? Well, no, it's not, because I know that 10 times 1 is 10, 10 times 2 is 20, 10 times 3 is 30, and none of those equal an even amount. If you ever divide, like 28 divided by 10, you would get 2 with remainder of 8. If you ever have a remainder, then those numbers are not factors. Okay, how can I find out if 3 is a factor of 54? Well, I can use division. Remember that if a number has a remainder, then it is not a factor. So let's stop and let me do that for you. Okay, so I did the long division here, 54 divided by 3, and I got 18, and I got 0 as my remainder. So I know that 18 and 3 are both factors of 54. That's how I use division to find out factors of 54. Okay, so let's think about this question. Do we need to divide to find out if 2 and 5 are factors of 54? Let's think about that just a moment. Okay, I know that I can divide 54 by 2 evenly because it's an even number. So I know that 2 is a factor of 54. How do I know if 5 is a factor? I know that 5 is not a factor of 54 because I know my 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20, and they have to end in 5 or a 0. A number has to end in 5 or 0 to actually have 5 as a factor. So I know that 55 is not a factor of 54. Now let me ask you this question. Are all even numbers prime? Well, we know that they can all be multiplied by 2, but the answer to that is no, because 2 is a prime number. But all other even numbers are composite, okay? So we'll be talking more about that. Don't get confused. Okay, let's go back to this number, 54. We know that 54 is equal to 6 times 9. We're going to show a little bit of the associative property to find some other factors of 54. Now, don't worry if you don't really understand what the word associative property means. Just look at the example, look at your homework helping page, and see if you can figure this out. Just do some good problem solving. Just do your best. Okay, here we have, in the second problem, we found we really just broke up the 6 into 2 times 3. So if we have 2 times 3, that equals 6, and 6 times 9 equals 54. Now, we can associate it a little differently. We still wrote the 2, the 3, and the 9, but here we multiplied the 3 and the 9 first. And 3 times 9 is 27. Then we have to multiply it by 2. 2 times 27 is 54. So basically, I can say that 2 is a factor, 3 is a factor of 54, 9 is a factor of 54, and 27 is also a factor of 24. So just this associative property is going to tell me some of the other factors of the number 54. Okay, so let's test this method on another number. 42 is equal to 6 times 7. Now we're going to just distribute that out. We have 2 times 3, because we just said that 2 times 3 is also equal to 6, multiplied by 7. Okay, so then we can break that up a different way in this one. We're looking at exactly the same problem, but we're just breaking it up differently. So here we have 3 times 7 times 2. Well, we know that 3 times 7 is 21. So here we can say that 2 is a factor, 3 is a factor, 7 is a factor, and 21 is a factor all of the number 42. Those are factors of 42. So we're just using the associative property to find the factors of a number. Okay, this number is a little bit bigger. Let's test it out. So we have the same, we're still using the same 6. So we have 6 times 12 is 72. And if we have, break that out, 2 times 3 and then times 12. And then let's regroup it a different way. We have here 3 times 12, and if you multiply that, you're going to get 36. 2 times 36, if you multiply that, you're going to get 72. So basically, we can say that 36 is a factor, 2 is a factor, 3 is a factor, and 6 is a factor, and 12 is a factor. All of these are factors of the number 72. Okay, here just pause the video just a minute, and here are some divisibility rules, and I kind of find these really easy. You can take a large number and find out if you can divide it equally by one of these numbers. So if a number has the last digit is even or it's 0, then it can be divided evenly by 2. And don't worry if you don't understand these rules. We're going to go over them again in class the next couple of days. And we're just going to look at some numbers and see, oh, can it be divided by 2? Can it be divided by 3? Can it be divided by 4? And so on. So just read through some of these divisibility rules. Don't worry if you don't understand. We're going to go over them again and again until we understand a little bit more about division. Okay, just remember, if you're having trouble with tonight's homework, try to do at least half of the problems. And so you're going to finish page 229, 230 in your Succeed book, and you're going to put it in your clear folder. Remember, you have a great resource, which is the homework helper page. So if you don't know how to do it, just look at the homework helper page to give you some ideas. Or you can email me and I'll try to work you through it. But see if you can problem solve on your own. Okay, see you tomorrow.